Halstead Telephone Company and R&J Broadcasting Incorporated is proud to present to you this broadcast on yourliveevent.com.
All right, hey, welcome to yourliveevent.com as we're here in Lisbon, North Dakota at Sandager Park in Lisbon from the Lisbon Fire Department field, sitting out here in the center field press box as we have Class B Region 1 boys baseball today. The playing game here for Region 1 between Enderlin and Lisbon. Lisbon's overall record sits at 2-6. Enderlin's still looking for their first win of the season. They're currently at 0-8. These two teams last met up on the 16th of April in a slobber knocker over in Enderlin with a final score of 20-18, with Lisbon winning that, prevailing. And they're there to square off again today in this playing game for the Region 1 tournament. And those after the I guess should say after the day, the winner of this game will go ahead and they will play the number 1 seed Kindred Vikings, as Kindred secured the number 1 seed last night with a win over Central Cass. That was by a score of, I think it was 5-2 in that game last night. That was played up in Kindred. So winner of this game here in this playing game will face off against number 1 seed Kindred. That'll be on the 12th of May at 5 p.m. up in Kindred. So we'll go ahead and we'll step away. We'll come back for more on yourliveevent.com.
Continues to create a bright future for this region using 100% fiber optic technology. Service plans offer flexibility and choices, and there's local support personnel ready to help. Contact Halstead Telephone Company today.
At Abra Auto Body and Glass in Grand Forks, they make sure your vehicle gets the best standard of care to get it back on the road as quickly as possible. Lonnie and his team are some of the most highly trained in the industry. With state-of-the-art technology and superior products, your vehicle will leave in great condition. With their drive-in claims area, the process is smooth and easy. Let Abra Auto Body and Glass in Grand Forks provide you and your vehicle with premium care and attention. Open 8 to 5:30 Monday through Friday. Abra Auto Body and Glass of Grand Forks.
This is Chris from Agassiz.
Hey, welcome back here to LFD Field here in Standego Park, Lisbon, North Dakota, as we have Region 1 boys baseball here for our playing game between the Lisbon Broncos and the Enderlin Eagles, as the Lisbon opened up their season on the 7th of April, as they had a game postponed with Oaks, and they had to end up playing their first game against Northern Cass on the 9th of April. And their most recent outing, they did play Sargent County on the 5th of May, and they lost that over in Gwinner by a score of 2-10 there to the Sargent County Bulldogs on the 5th of May. Lisbon had a couple other games that were scheduled for this week, but this play-in game popped up. Lisbon was supposed to play at South Border on Thursday, and then they were supposed to come back on Saturday and play Park River. Both those games are canceled here for tonight's Friday Night Lights game, or a Friday Night Lights edition here of Region 1 baseball out of Sandager Park at the LFD Field. And then for Enderlin opened up their season as they went down to Rapid City for a tournament in South Dakota. They went 1-2 down there in South Dakota, and then came back with their most recent outing as they played. Looks like they had games against Hankinson, Fairmount, Rossel, Campbell Tinta, and Lidgerwood. That was back on the 5th of May, and they lost that by a score of 4-0 to the Ball Stars there from Hankinson, Fairmount, Rossel, Campbell Tinta, Lidgerwood. So both these teams looking for a win to get into that Region 1 tournament. Last time, as I mentioned before, last time these two teams met up was on the 16th of April at that game over in Enderlin, with Lisbon winning in extra innings by a score of 20-18 in that game. Other notable scores, talk about that score from yesterday with Kindred defeating Central Cass. You can see that one, or you were able to watch that one with Chase Miller on yourliveevent.com, as Kindred defeated Central Cass for the number 1 seed, and that determined the 1, 2, and 3 seeds, as Kindred picked up the number 1 seed with that win, followed by Northern Cass at number 2, and number 3 was Central Cass with that big win there yesterday by Kindred. Other notable scores yesterday from around the state, you had Langdon area Munich 10-0 over Park River, and Lemoore Litchfield Marion down to Rockford Cheyenne by a score of 7-5. Games today here on Friday. You have Thompson at Park River, Hillsborough Central Valley at Carrington, Langdon area Munich at Rugby, Beulah at Central McLean, Maple River at Nelson County, Hatton Northwood at Mayport CG, and Grafton is at Pembina County North for some of those other notable games around the area here this Friday evening. as the Region 1 tournament officially starts here for the at least the boys baseball edition here on Friday in Lisbon on the 8th of May. As the field conditions here, San Diego Park shaping up pretty nice. The grass is starting to green up pretty good. The field a little bit dry out there, a little bit dusty. Got the wind blowing out of north, and I could probably knock that down about 15 miles an hour and make a perfect night for baseball here in Lisbon. But we will step away here for another short timeout. We'll come back for more on yourliveevent.com.
Your local precision planting dealer. Say thank you to the farmers you come into contact with every day. They have chosen a career that is as much their deep passion as it is an absolute necessity for you and I. Spring is upon us, and there will be farm equipment on the roads. Give them your patience and room to do their jobs. Trust me, they would rather be off the road working in their field than dealing with traffic. From all of us here at Agassiz Precision Ag, we say thank you and have a safe spring.
Farming today doesn't always feel the same way it used to. Then again, some of it feels all the same. Maybe it isn't so much the jobs that changed, but how they get done. Now that's a different story. Everything got bigger and smaller at the same time. Insurance, accounting, and taxes can get complicated, so you need someone who's looking to keep every dollar possible in your pocket. Ag Country.
Treat yourself to a great career at American Crystal Sugar Company. Team up with quality people making quality products. Full-time and year-round in a stable business. With great pay and benefits including time off available from day one. American Crystal Sugar Company invests in you to promote your continued growth and career advancement. Grow your career, doing your best work within the world's best beet sugar company. Apply online today at AmericanCrystalCareers.com.
At Bank North, we strive to enrich the lives of everyone we serve. One transaction, one relationship, and one community at a time. We do it by supporting kids and schools, pitching in to help neighbors in need, partnering with rural businesses, and providing all the traditional and modern banking products and personalized lending services you expect from a reliable financial partner. Bank North, always true.
All right, welcome back here at LFD Field in Lisbon, North Dakota, here out of San Diego Park. As today's contest here for Region 1 baseball, the playing game features the Lisbon Broncos against the Enderlin Eagles. They're going through those starting lineups out there on the main part of the field, as we'll go through those here ourselves as your visitors on that bank, on the Dakota Heritage Bank scoreboard there for the DHB scoreboard. As your starting lineup here for your visitors, the Enderlin Eagles. So your starting nine for Enderlin, leading things off for Enderlin. Top of the lineup is your center fielder, Carson Gruba. Batting second is your catcher, Weston Clausen. Batting third is your pitcher, Ethan Shimbura. Batting fourth, cleanup hitter, is shortstop, Reiner Dargo. Batting fifth is right fielder, Gabe Hoy. Batting sixth is second baseman, Monty Loffman. Batting seventh, another eighth grader, and third baseman Avery Finger. Batting eighth is first baseman Wyatt Lund, and batting ninth is the left fielder Tegan Dargo. That's your starting lineup for the visitor on the scoreboard, the Enderlin Eagles. And then for the Lisbon Broncos, home team on the scoreboard, picking up that big Region 1 win back on the 12th of April, 20-18 over Enderlin as the home team on the scoreboard. As leading off things for Lisbon will be pitcher Cruz Ranke. Batting second is shortstop Cam Cordero. Batting third is third baseman Ryland Moss. Batting fourth, left fielder Zach Ward. Designated hitter batting fifth is Madden Schwab. Batting sixth is the second baseman Jacob Ness. Batting seventh is the center fielder Grayson Lyons. Then batting eighth is first baseman Cruz Johnson. Batting ninth is right fielder Griffin Mayers, and also playing in the game there is Irvin Elijah, the catcher, not batting for the Lisbon Broncos. As Lisbon's team should say they're doing introduction there for Lisbon home team on the DHB scoreboard, as they'll do the starting lineups. Then they'll also have that national anthem. Just like to thank all of our feature sponsors here today, with Dakota Heritage Bank, with our in-game updates and scoreboard sponsors, along with our First pitch sponsored by Norman County Raceway. And then our bracket breakdown here by Bank North. We'll go over that in a minute. And then our player of the game, member January player of the game, our HTC connection of the game, our Agassi Precision play of the game. So I'd just like to thank those feature sponsors. We're going to go and we're going to step away here on yourliveevent.com.
There's a new inventory of trailers at Bloomfield Enterprises of Hillsborough. You can see the latest inventory online at bloomfieldtrailers.com. Bloomfield Enterprises has a full line of Big Tex trailers. Big Tex has affordable and versatile utility trailers for all your jobs. Big Tex has a full line of products from ATV trailers to gooseneck to dump trailers and more. Call Larry at 218-368-7989 or Tim at 701-430-0877. Bloomfield Enterprises in Hillsborough.
Growers, prepare your fields and yields against the wet conditions today and beyond with the Drain Tile Project from Chad's Excavating out of Mayville. Drain tiling will improve and increase your yields and land values for years to come. Chad's Excavating provides free detailed estimates, and with over 40 years of combined success, they provide professional installation and service. Call Chad today to prepare for your future and any questions that you might have. That's Chad's Excavating out of Mayville, helping farmers grow.
For trusted news, weather, and sports from your community, look to R&J Broadcasting Incorporated. KRJB, KRJM, and KKCQ Radio and rjbroadcasting.com. Hear local voices from local radio with news and information from the area. Your information stations, KRJB, KRJM, and KKCQ Radio and rjbroadcasting.com. Local voices from local radio.
Halsted Telephone Company delivers.
All right, welcome back here to yourliveevent.com as the national anthem has concluded and play ball has been initiated by the announcer booth up there with Pat Adair rocking the mic for Lisbon, emceeing the baseball game up there and doing the starting lineups as Lisbon defense takes the field. Leading off for Lisbon on the mound is Cruz Ranke here with your first pitch sponsored by Norman County Raceway. That first pitch here sponsored by Norman County Raceway. Check the World of Outlaws late models on Tuesday, June 30th and 8th. Tickets now available at normancountyraceway.com for that first pitch. There, Cruz Ranke leading things off on the mound for Lisbon. Looking at game time right at 5 o'clock there, looking for that first pitch. As conditions in Lisbon currently here at Sandager Park in Lisbon on LFD Field. Right around 68 degrees here at start time for a temperature. Mostly cloudy skies, and they got that wind with those red flag warnings. Just gusting out of the northwest here. So field, I guess, should say it is blowing out. Lisbon is a pretty deep field, and it takes a lot to hit a home run over here in center field and hit the center field press box. So looking for that wind blowing out here to center field and maybe put one over the fence. As that game in Enderlin, that featured 3 home runs. They had 2 by Enderlin, 1 by Lisbon. Cam Cordero coming up with a grand slam in the ninth, or I should say in the bottom, or not the bottom, but the top of the 7th inning to help send that game into extra innings there for Lisbon. As Lisbon would score a couple more runs and then tie it up in that top of the 7th inning. As that first pitch now coming here by Cruz Ranke. Leading off is Carson Gruba. And that first pitch, low and outside, gets away from the catcher for ball 1 to Carson Gruba, the center fielder. So 1-0 count here to Gruba. Ranke working on the windup. That's high for ball 2. So 2 balls. No strikes, 2-0 count to Carson Gruba. That pitch just outside, so trying to work the outside of the plate on Gruba. And Gruba now with the 3-0 count here from Ranke. Ranke still trying to find the zone. And that pitch finds the strike zone there for first strike of the game. Your count 3-1 is the count, and not sure the scoreboard not working right now for balls and strikes. They do have the total pitch count, I think, working over there, but it is 3 balls and 1 strike, I think, is what it is. That's strike 3. Struck him out, so it was a 3-2 count. Had a full count. Struck him out swinging there for Gruba. As Cruz Ranky will pick up a number of strikeouts. I think the highest he's had of the season was 14 on the season. And looking to start things off with that first strikeout. That brings up your catcher here, Weston Clausen, batting second for Enderlin. Clausen in the box. Ranky looking for the outside corner, just misses for ball 1. Ranky's really been trying to work that outside edge, outside corner, just missing it for the 1-0 count to Clausen. That's a big swing and a miss by Weston Clausen for strike 1. 1 ball, 1 strike to Weston Clausen. Took a big swing there by Weston. Ranky working from the windup. And the pitch there, a bunt put down. That's to the pitcher, Ranky, with the play from the mound, as Clausen, after that big swing there on the first strike, lays down the bunt just off to the right side, or I should say just off to the left side of the pitcher's mound for the second out. So the 1-3 put out for the second out. And that ball hit to the first baseman through his leg, so got by him, not able to get it and corral it. For a base hit is Ethan Simbura. Simbura, first pitch hitter, as he's going to put himself on base with the first hit of the game and a single for Simbura. As we'll try to get that Bank North bracket breakdown here between innings. That's going to bring up your cleanup hitter, Orion Dargo. Got a runner on first for Enderlin. Top of the first inning. Checked by the runner. Pickoff attempt, no good. Simbura slides safely back. Not a big lead there by Simbura. Looked like about a big step and a half. 1, 2 small steps there by Simbura. He's about a step and a half a step from first base. And that pitch is outside there to Dargo for ball 1, 1-0 count to Dargo. That's Orion Dargo, your cleanup hitter. Yeah, Simbura leading off first. This ball's hit foul down the first base line and out of play for strike 1. 1 ball, 1 strike to Orion Dargo. As a 2-out single here by Simbura puts him on first. Ranky's going to check the runner working out of the stretch. And the delivery right down the middle. This is swung on to the right field side. And that's out of play. As Adorgo got a hold of it, and that goes out of play. There by Dargo for 1 ball, 2 strike, 1-2 count. Here, 2 outs, runner on first. Top of the first inning for Enderlin. That drops in high, gets away from the catcher, and doing a good job keeping it in front of him there is Irvin Elijah, the catcher for Lisbon. Lisbon on the diamond. You got Cruz Johnson over at first, Jacob Ness at second, Cordero at short. For Lisbon. And then over at third is Ryland Moss back holding down third base for Lisbon. In the outfield, you have Zach Warden left, Grayson Lyons here in center, and then Griffin Mayers over in right field for Lisbon defensively. As your count, full count here to Dargo. And that swung on, fouled back. Good battle going on here now between Ryan Dargo and Cruz Ranky as he fouls off the full count pitch. And still the 3-2 count. Here, Ranke going against Dargo. Runner on first is Sambura. Ranke out of the stretch, down the middle. That swung on, base hit. Sambura's going to round second. This is to the gap here. Lyons is chasing it down. Sambura's being waved around to home. And standing up at second is Orion Dargo. One run across for Enderlin. As Enderlin takes the early lead off the RBI double into the gap here, the right center. So 2-out rally here starting for Enderlin as Sambura comes around to score, chugging around the bases there. Ethan Sambura puts Orion Dargo on second. 1-0 lead. And I think we have a balk. I thought as the runner went there, as Dargo, the pitch got away from the catcher, Irvin Elijah. Kept it in front of him, but Dargo took advantage of it. As Enderlin off to the races on the base pass here now. Dargo over to third base. Here with 2 outs, Gabe Hoy is up, the number 5 hitter, and right fielder Gabe Hoy. As that gets away again from Elijah and then brings in Dargo off the wild pitch. Now a 2-0 lead for Enderlin. So up on that Dakota Heritage Bank scoreboard, now Enderlin is up 2-0 with 2 outs. Pitch to Gabe Hoy outside for another ball. So 3-0 count, 3 balls, no strikes to Gabe Hoy. The right fielder batting 5th. He has 2 runs across in this inning, and that's straight down the middle for strike 1. So 3 balls, 1 strike, 3-1 count now to Gabe Hoy. As we do have 2 outs, Enderlin leads by a score 2-0, top of the first inning, out of the stretch. And that ball hit foul down the first base side. Back out of play. Looks like it went on top of the dike. Didn't make it into the river, so 1 ball saved. So full count now, 3-2 count to Hoy. That's down the middle, foul back. That pitch started to rise. It was coming in on Hoy. So with the 3-2 count, Gabe Hoy is still alive. Leading off things here was Carson Gruba striking out Weston Clausen with the bunt, and that's going to be a walk to Gabe Hoy. So now a runner on first. Ranke struggling a little bit. Had 2 quick outs as Clausen was put out for that second out off the 1-3 put out off the bunt. Sambura comes in with a single, and Dargo with the stand-up double hitting here to right center. Brought around Sambura, and then a wild pitch. And a dropped pitch by the catcher, and then a wild pitch advanced to Dargo from second over to third, and then eventually home. Yeah, it's Monty Loffman up to bat now, and that's going to get away once again from the catcher, and Elijah's going to fire it to second. Catcher, shortstop Cordero's there, but Hoy will make his way over to second. As your count, 1 ball, 1 strike. You're with Monty Loffman with the 1-1 count, your second baseman for Enderlin. Is Hoy with the lead. Big lead there by Gabe Hoy. See if Ranke Cordero communicates that to him, as Dargo had a big lead also, which helped him get over there to third base. So here's Monty Loffman, the 1-1 count. Swing and a miss for strike 3. So struck him out. 2 strikeouts in the inning, but Enderlin striking first here at the top of the first inning with 2 runs off of 2 hits and 1 wild pitch. Scoring a run there for Enderlin. And 1 runner left on base. They're the top of the first inning. As we'll go ahead and step away, we'll come back for more on your liveevent.com.
Internet, telephone, and cable TV to residents in this region, including Halstead, Shelley, Neillsville, Climax, Fisher, Bigland, Gentilly in Minnesota, and Hillsborough, Caledonia, Gardner, and Argosville, North Dakota. Serving the area residents since 1904, Halstead Telephone continues to create a bright future for this region using 100% fiber optic technology. Service plans offer flexibility and choices, and there's local support personnel ready to help. Contact Halstead Telephone Company today.
At Abra Auto Body and Glass in Grand Forks, they make sure your vehicle gets the best standard of care to get it back on the road as quickly as possible. Lonnie and his team are some of the most highly trained in the industry. With state-of-the-art technology and superior products, your vehicle will leave in great condition. With their drive-in claims area, the process is smooth and easy. Let Abra Auto Body and Glass in Grand Forks provide you and your vehicle with premium care and attention. Open 8 to 5:30 Monday through Friday. Abra Auto Body and Glass of Grand Forks.
Welcome back here at liveevent.com as Enderlin plates 2 runs in the top of the first inning off of 2 hits, a single by Sembur and then a double followed up by a Dargle, brought Sembur around so that for the 2-0 lead. And just looking for that Bank North bracket breakdown here for Region 1. Then we have the playing game here between Enderlin and Lisbon. The winner of this game will take on number 1 Kindred. And that game will be on Tuesday at 5 p.m. Then you have number 4, Sargent County takes on number 5, Oak Grove. Number 2, Northern Cass versus number 7, Oaks. Number 3, Center Cass versus number 6, Hankinson, Fairmont, Campbell, Tinta, Rosso, Lidgerwood. Otherwise known as the Ball Stars. As that's your bracket breakdown there, your Bank North bracket breakdown. And looking for Lisbon, lead things off is your pitcher, Cruz Ranke. As your count, 1-1 count now to Ranke. And Ranke swings, follows this one down the third base line. Picked up by Coach Kevin Bratlin with the quick hand, or excuse me, Brad Brittner over there with the quick hands. Fields it, gets it back in, the 1-2 count now to Ranke. And that pitch inside and low for ball 2. Got the 2-2 count. Sembur on the mound for Enderlin. That pitch swung on by Ranke for strike 3, strikes him out. Leading things off with that strikeout there for Sembura. For the first out for Lisbon. Brings up your shortstop. Hitting second is Cam Cordero. Sembura working out the stretch, swung on by Cordero, hit to the gap, running over, not able to get it as Gruba kind of held up, didn't take it to the ball. And that gets into Avery Finger with a stand-up double by Cam Cordero. So Cordero, first pitch hitter, as he comes up with a double, hitting into that right center gap again for a double, as that seems to be the spot, the sweet spot here in the first inning. As this brings up Rylan Moss, your third baseman here for Lisbon. With 1 out, runner on second. Is Cam Cordero. Cordero with some speed on the bases. Moss able to hit this one, lift it here deep into the outfield. Advance Cordero. Yeah, Sembura now with the 2-1 count on Rylan Moss. 2 balls, 1 strike. Sembura working out of the stretch to lefty. And that's going to be strike 2 swinging on Rylan Moss. The 2-2 count here for Moss. Cordero takes the lead. Second baseman Avery Finger patting the glove. Not holding Cordero. Working the outside corner for ball 3. To Rylan Moss, loads the count up 3-2. Yeah, it was 1 out, runner on. Cordero's going to go outside, throw down to third. Cordero stands up on third base. So Moss aboard with a walk. Cordero's over at third, and that'll bring up your cleanup hitter, Zach Ward, left fielder, Zach Ward. So Lisbon Now runners at the corner with one out. Zach Ward up, right-handed hitter against the lefty. As that drops in for ball one to Ward. Pitch by Sombura working out of the stretch. Has a good look over there at first base. First base maybe one step away from the bag. And that's going to be a little throw over there. Checks the runner with Rylan Moss. Cordero at third. That ball in the dirt, gets away from the catcher, keeps it in front of him there. Good job by Weston Clausen. So the 2-0 count now to Zach Ward. That drops in for a strike. So the first strike there on Ward, 2-1 count. Sombura working out of the stretch, takes a look at first. And the delivery, that swung on and fouled there over to the Eagles dugout. Barehanded over there is Coach Kevin Bratlin for 2 balls, 2 strikes. And that dropped for a ball, 3-2 count to Zach Ward. I'm trying to think, they got 3-1 up on the board, but I think it's 3-2. And that strike 3 struck him out. Ward looking. He was looking to walk more than to hit there as that struck him out. Outside part of the plate for the strikeout. 2 strikeouts this inning for Sombura. We got runners at the corner for Lisbon. Reaching on a double there. And first hit for Lisbon was a double by Cam Cordero. Moss gets aboard walking. And Moss is just going to trot over to second base. Yeah, it's kind of a delayed steal attempt there, trying to confuse the defense. And a good stop there by Weston Clausen as that ball was diving to the outside. Clausen did a good job corralling that, keeping it in front of him, saving a run there. Yeah, as Matt Schwab, your DH is up. Schwab, one ball, 1 strike. Two-one count. Now to Matt Schwab. Sombura with the delivery. Runners at second, third. Swung on by Schwab. 1 ball, 2 strikes. There's Matt Schwab, the DH for Lisbon, batting 5th. And that's going to go down the middle. Drops out. The bottom dropped out on that for ball 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Runners at second and third. 2 outs for Lisbon. And he's going to strike him out looking. As another strikeout. 3 strikeouts there for Sombura in that inning. As no runs for Lisbon off of 1 hit. No errors. And you have 2 runners left on base. As we're going to go ahead and we'll step away. We'll come back for more on YourLiveEvent.com.
This is Chris from Agassiz Precision Ag, your local precision planting dealer. Say thank you to the farmers you come into contact with every day. They have chosen a career that is as much their deep passion as it is an absolute necessity for you and I. Spring is upon us and there will be farm equipment on the roads. Give them your patience and room to do their jobs. Trust me, they would rather be off the road working in their field than dealing with traffic. From all of us here at Agassiz Precision Ag, we say thank you and have a safe spring.
Hey, back here from LFD Field, Standiga Park, Lisbon, North Dakota. Give you that Dakota Heritage Bank in-game update as Enderlin moving into the second inning is up on Lisbon by a score of 2-0. Enderlin in the top of the first put 2 runs across as leading things off was Carson Gruba striking out Weston Clausen with the bunt attempt for the 1-3 put-off for 2 quick outs there for Lisbon, but then Sombura comes up with a single, and that was followed up by a double by Ryan Adargo that brought Sombura around from first to home, and then Adargo eventually gets home on a wild pitch as Enderlin up on Lisbon now by a score of 2-0 heading into the top of the second inning. Lisbon in the bottom half of the first leading things off with Cruz Ranke with a strikeout, a double by Cordero. And then a walk by Moss, put 2 on for Lisbon, and then Ward and Schwab striking out back-to-back. As hitting now for Enderlin is Avery Finger. Batting 7th in the order to Finger. That's Cruz Ranke on the mound for Lisbon, as that is a 1-0 count. Off of Ranke, working out of the windup. And the pitch, low and away for ball 2. You're the top of the second inning. Winner this in the playing game will take on number 1 Kindred on Tuesday. That's in Kindred. And that's down the middle for strike 1 on Avery Finger. So 2 balls, 1 strike. Here Ranke to Finger. Righty against righty on the delivery. That's outside. Gets away from the catcher. For 3-1 count from Ranke to Finger. Looks like they're doing some more work on the grandstands there across the field. They got rid of those 1x4s or 1x6s, whatever, across the front. Patched some holes up. They got some plywood across the front, so that's some good developments there in San Diego Park. As that was swung on with the full count now. 3-2's the count to Avery Finger here from Ranke out of the windup. The pitch, and that swung on for strike 3. Struck him out swinging. Off the full count. So the payoff pitch for Ranke works out as he strikes out Avery Finger for his 3rd strikeout of the game. So 3 strikeouts apiece there for each of these pitchers. Enderlin doing the damage, though, in that first inning with 2 runs across. That'll bring up number 8 hitter Wyatt Lund. And that ball low and away, catches him at the knees for strike 1 on Lund. Lund, your first baseman for Enderlin. As Ranke back in the wind. Up the delivery, that's high for ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike to Wyatt Lund. Yeah, it looks like Ranke now with 35 pitches in the game, and that's going to be high for ball 2. 2 balls and 1 strike from Ranke to Wyatt Lund. Ranke out of the wind, up the delivery. That's outside part of the plate for strike 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes there. Ranke's continuing to work that outside part of the plate as he has the 2-2 count here. The delivery to Lund, swung on, kind of swatted it. Thought about swinging a little bit too late. Strikes him out swinging again. Or another strikeout swinging for Cruz Ranke. As that's out 1 and out 2 of the top of the second inning for Enderlin. Strikeouts by Avery Finger. And Wyatt Lund will bring up Tigana Dargle, the number 9 hitter and left fielder. As that first pitch drops in for a ball on a Dargle. Ranke back to working out of the windup. Gets the sign from the catcher back there, Irvin Elijah. And that ball down the middle, swung on for strike. Looked like a changeup. So 1 ball, 1 strike there to Dargle. Ranke steps back with the delivery. That swung on. I think it's tipped out or foul tip out of the glove of the catcher for strike 2. So 2 balls, 1 strike to the number 9 hitter, Tigana Dargle. I think the last thing you want to do is get a wild pitch or hit by pitch here. Put that number 9 on. That's going to be swung on outside as that went away from a Dargle. And it's going to be 3 up, 3 down for Cruz Ranke in that inning. 1, 2, 3 inning there for Cruz Ranke and the Lisbon Broncos. They needed that to kind of shut down Enderlin after that big first inning with those 2 runs across. As Finger, Lund, and Dargle all striking out. That puts 5 strikeouts in the game now for Cruz Ranke. So no runs off of no hits, no errors by Lisbon, and no runners left on base. That'll bring us to the bottom of the second inning. Due up for Lisbon. In the bottom of the second is your number 6 hitter and second baseman, Jacob Ness.
Farming today doesn't always feel the same way it used to. Then again, some of it feels all the same. Maybe it isn't so much the jobs that changed, but how they get done. Now that's a different story. Everything got bigger and smaller at the same time. Insurance, accounting, and taxes can get complicated, so you need someone who's looking to keep every dollar possible in your pocket. Ag Country.
Treat yourself to a great career at American Crystal Sugar Company. Team up with quality people making quality products. Full-time and year-round in a stable business. With great pay and benefits including time off available from day one. American Crystal Sugar Company invests in you to promote your continued growth and career advancement. Grow your career doing your best work within the world's best beet sugar company. Apply on.
All right, welcome back here, liveevent.com. Ness on the up at the plate for Lisbon. Sambura on the mound for Enderlin. As that drops in for 2 balls, no strikes there. As that's going to be ball 3. 3-0 count to Jacob Ness. Ness likely taken all the way there with the 3-0 count. That's outside. And looks like he's going to catch the outside corner of the plate for the 3-1 count. So he does put a strike on there for the 3-1 count. That swung on for strike 2. Full count loads him up. Payoff pitch coming there with Jacob Ness against Sambura, the lefty. And that's going to be hit, fouled back by Ness. So Ness stays alive, battling Sambura. 3-2 is your count. Your bottom of the second inning. And that's the pitch. And fouled off again by Ness. Just a little bit out in front of that one. Little off-speed pitch there by Sambura. Sambura delivers at the knees, jams him up inside for the strikeout on Jacob Ness. As Ness goes down swinging for the first out. Battling Sambura, a couple fouls, battling there, and ended up swinging. Sambura jammed him up inside. That'll bring up your number 8 hitter. So say number 7 hitter is Grayson Lyons. Lyons hits this one shallow right field. Dive and play, trying to make athletic play. There was Avery Finger, just couldn't get up enough. Not enough ups there to get it. Would have been a spectacular play if he had reeled that in. Actually, that wasn't. That was Monty Loffman over there. Sorry. Yeah, his finger's over at third. So Loffman trying to make the play on it, and Lyons is going to have a single. So we got 1 out. Yes. Lyons leading off, kind of testing the lefty on the mound there, Sambura. Yes, checked by that. That's going to be a hit here, shallow center field, and that's going to get Lyons to second off of the base hit by Cruz Johnson. As Johnson and Lyons coming up with the back-to-back singles. Now runners on first and second. And 1 out for Lisbon. So things for Lisbon looking up here with 1 out. Runners on first and second brings up your number 9 hitter, Griffin Mayers. Yeah, Sambura's giving up back-to-back singles. Runners on first and second. That ball low. Ball 1 on Griffin Mayers. So the 1-0 count. And that ball hit high. Popped up. Infield fly rule is in effect, and that's going to be hauled in by Ryder Dargo, the shortstop. All runners on base stay put, standing on top of the base, as infield fly rule was called. And so that's going to be an F6 there to the shortstop for the second out. For Lisbon, this ball sharply hit, gets past the third baseman, Avery Finger. That's going to advance all runners, as that was a hard hit ball to Finger. Not sure how they're going to score that. I'd give him a hit, and it looks like Lisbon's going to get the hit for that. So Lisbon racking up the hits now. 4 hits in the game with Cruz Reinke picking up a single. That'll bring up Cam Cordero. Cordero's first time up. So bases loaded, bases juiced for Cordero. Cordero hits this one right to the first baseman. As getting out of the inning is Sambura. Cordero with the hard hit. And that's cleaned up there over there by Wyatt Lund, the first baseman, taking that line drive and stealing some runs from Lisbon. And that'll put Lisbon down there in the bottom of the second inning. Lisbon will have no runs off of 3 hits and no errors by Enderlin, with 3 runners left on base. Bring us to the top of the third inning. Enderlin still leads here up on that DHB scoreboard by a score of 2-0. coming up for Enderlin, top of the third inning for the Enderlin Eagles will be the top of the lineup, Carson Gruba.
AmericanCrystalCareers.com.
At Bank North, we strive to enrich the lives of everyone we serve. One transaction, one relationship, and one community at a time. We do it by supporting kids and schools, pitching in to help neighbors in need, partnering with rural businesses, and providing all the traditional and modern banking products and personalized lending services you expect from a reliable financial partner. Bank North, always true.
Hey, welcome back here, LiveVin.com. Looking for the DHB in-game update as Lisbon threatening in the bottom of the second. They loaded up the bases. Cordero, the man that you want up at the plate, hit a double his first time up as he hit a sharp line drive and just policed up there, vacuumed up by the first baseman, Wyatt Lund of Enderlin, saving a few runs as Lisbon will go down with no runs off of 3 hits in that inning. I'm sure they're shaking their heads just a little bit as Cordero with a nice line drive hit just went to right to the first baseman. Yeah, as look at the pitch count there for both pitchers. 44 pitches now in the game for Cruz Ranke on the mound for Lisbon, and 39 for Ethan Simbura. Pitching battle as Simbura with 4 strikeouts in the game, Ranke with 5. Ranke here pitching against Gruba. Gruba, first time up, struck out. And that's going to go in there for ball 1 off the windup. So the 1-0 count to Carson Gruba. Leadoff hitter back up, back around the top of the lineup, and that's going to go outside for strike 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. That pitch worked from the inside to the outside part of the plate. Yes, Ranke off the delivery for swing and strike 2 on Carson Gruba. As top of the third inning, Gruba the leadoff hitter. That's going to go in for a ball. As 2 balls, 2 strikes to Gruba. Ranke with the delivery to Gruba. That's outside, missing low and outside for ball 3. Loads the count up. No defensive changes this inning for Lisbon. As that pitch outside, Gruba draws the walk. So Gruba over to first. Leadoff runners aboard with no outs for Enderlin. And that'll bring up Weston Clausen, the catcher, number 2 in the order for Enderlin, as Gruba with some speed over on first. Ranke's going to take a long look at him over there. Off the stretch, and that swung on. Little chopper here is hit to the second or third baseman, Moss, and Gruba slides short. I think Gruba would have slid all the way through on that. And they're going to say Gruba was safe. I think they said that he missed the bag. Not sure what happened there. Or maybe he interfered. Maybe the second baseman, I think the second baseman interfered with the runner is what it was. So that caused Gruba to slide short. So now we got runners at the corner. So Gruba's safe and takes third base off the pass baller over at first. So runners at first and third, nobody out. That's going to bring up Simbura. Simbura last time up. And the runners now advancing from first to second is Weston Clausen. And I guess we'll say I think that's scored as an error on Lisbon. And that's going to be sharply hit here to right field as that's going to go out of play on the first base side for a strike. So 0-2 count to Simbura. Nobody out, 2 runners on, second and third. Simbura, last time up, hit a double to right center. And the pitch, and that's high, foul behind home plate by Simbura. So still the 0-2 count. Nobody out, 2 on, runners at second and third. That's Clausen and Gruba. Gruba getting aboard by a walk, and that's going to be high pitch, fouled back. As that pitch started to climb the ladder, Simbura went up and got it and falls that one back, battling Ranke. Here's Ethan Simbura. Ranke working out of the stretch. Runner over at second with the big lead. Runners, or so the defense of Lisbon playing up on the bunt. This is going to be hit there to the first base side. Drifting over is Johnson for the out, for the first out, off the foul on the first base side. Johnson makes the grab for Lisbon, puts Simbura out. There we go. Now we got it right. Runners at second and third. We got 1 out, as that was an F3. So it brings up your cleanup hitter, Ryan Adargo. Adargo, his first time up with a single, and he's going to bring 1 run across, and the second run heading home. Play at the plate, not in time. Yeah, as Adargo is going to go ahead and get 2 RBIs off the single, right up the middle to shallow center field. And that brings 2 runs across. 2 more runs across for Enderlin, as Enderlin's done all the damage with 1 out in this inning now with a single by Adargo. That's going to be swung on by your number 5 hitter, Gabe Hoy. Hoy, his last time up with a walk. Back in the first inning, check down the runner over there, and not in time. Drop by drop by Johnson. And the 0-1 count. To Gabe Hoy. And that's going to get away from Elijah. Bounces behind him. Adargo is going to advance over to second. Here's Adargo. So 1 ball, 1 strike to Gabe Hoy. Now the 1-2 count. Yeah, Ryan Adargo on second with that 1 out, 2 RBI single. And that ball drifts away for ball 2. As Ranke out of the stretch, and the delivery, that's down the middle and then swung on and fouled back behind home plate by Gabe Hoy. So 2 balls, 2 strikes to Hoy. Adargo now in the game. 2 for 2 in the game. He's on second. This ball fouled here once again. And that's going to drift foul, as second baseman Jacob Ness not giving up on that one, just in case it did drop inside the line, but that's fouled off for a long strike. Yeah, as their count now, 2 balls and 2 strikes. We have the 2-2 count on Hoy. Adargo with the lead at second. With 1 out, Adargo's going to go. And Elijah decides not to throw it. So that's going to put Adargo now at third with 1 out. Hoy loads up the count, 3-2 count. That ball is high for ball 4, 4-2, or excuse me, a walk issued now to Gabe Hoy. Hoy with the walk. That's going to bring out a visit by Lisbon head coach Brad Bittner onto the mound. He's going to talk things over with his pitcher, Cruz Ranke, and the Lisbon defense. Yeah, now we got runners at the corner at first and third. Visit to the mound by Coach Brad Bittner.
There's a new inventory of trailers at Bloomfield Enterprises of Hillsborough. You can see the latest inventory online at bloomfieldtrailers.com. Bloomfield Enterprises has a full line of Big Tex trailers. Big Tex has affordable and versatile utility trailers for all your jobs. Big Tex has a full line of products from ATV trailers to gooseneck to dump trailers and more. Call Larry at 218-368-7989 or Tim at 701-430-0877. Bloomfield Enterprises in Hillsborough.
All right, welcome back here, LiveVent.com. Runners at the corners for Enderlin. And that brings up Monty Loffman. Loffman, his first time up, struck out back in the first inning. So runners at the corner, the pitch. Checking the runner and cutting it off the stolen base. There's Gabe Hoy. So Hoy advances to second. Couple of runs sitting on the bases now for Monty Loffman. That ball did drop in for a strike, swinging for strike two. So Monty Loffman, an eighth grader here for Enderlin, along with his teammate Avery Finger over at third base. And that's going to go inside for strike three, looking. Yeah, that hit the inside corner of the plate. Not much you could do with that. So that's the second out. Here the top of the third inning with 2 outs. Ranke, now teammate Avery Finger up for Enderlin. Fellow eighth grader out there, and that's going to drop in for strike one, outside corner of the plate. So 2 outs, 2 runners on. 2 runs across in this third inning. Big swing and a miss on a high fastball for the 0-2 count. Ranke now in the game with 6 strikeouts. Ranke takes a look over at third. That pitch is swung on here, shallow center field, and that's going to drop in front of Lyons. That's going to score a run. So that'll bring in a Dargle from third for another run across. So Dargle 2 for 2 in the game with 2 runs. He's looking for the MVP of the game here for Enderlin. And that'll bring up number 8 hitter Wyatt Lund, your first baseman. You got the single by Finger with the RBI. Once again, runners at the corner. 0-1 count here to Wyatt Lund, working on the stretch is Ranke. And 3 runs across this inning for Enderlin. Had 2 in the first, went down 1-2-3 in the second, and now 3 runs across in the third for your Dakota Heritage Bank in-game update. Up on the DHB scoreboard, Enderlin leads by a score of 5-0. That ball is going to drop in for ball 1. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Wyatt Lund, the number 8 hitter and first baseman for Enderlin. The 1-2 count. Runner's going. So Finger's going to go down to first. No challenge by Lisbon. Runners now second and third. As Gabe Hoy made his way around to third base. Fingers on second. That's going to load up the count now. 3-2 count to Wyatt Lund. 2 outs for Lisbon. That's go down the middle for strike 3. Swinging and another strikeout. I believe that's number 7 in the game now for Cruz Ranke with 7 strikeouts in the game. But coming here in the top of the third inning. Enderlin with 3 runs. So Enderlin with 3 runs off of 2 hits and 1 Lisbon error with 2 runners left on base. As they're going to go ahead and take the lead now by a score of 5-0 over Lisbon. Lisbon coming up bottom of the third inning, as they are the home team on that DHB scoreboard. As that's going to bring up your number 9 hitter, Looks like Lisbon's coming back up on the number 3 hitter, Ryland Moss, due up for Lisbon in the bottom of the third inning.
Growers, prepare your fields and yields against the wet conditions today and beyond with the Drain Tile Project from Chad's Excavating out of Mayville. Drain tiling will improve and increase your yield and land values for years to come. Chad's Excavating provides free detailed estimates, and with over 40 years of combined success, they provide professional installation and service. Call Chad today to prepare for your future and any questions that you might have. That's Chad's Excavating out of Mayville, helping farmers grow.
All right, welcome back here as Ryland Moss leading things off for Lisbon in the bottom of the third inning. Moss, his last time up there in the first inning, drew a walk as that first pitch drops in for a strike. This one's low for ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike to Ryland Moss of Lisbon. Lisbon with 4 hits in the game, had 3 in that second inning. Is not able to get a run across. That's going to drop in for strike 2. A 2-1 or 1-2 count there for Sambura on the delivery. The lefty, that's going to go outside for ball 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Working away from the hitter there is Sambura on the 2-2, the delivery, and that's going to be down the middle. Bottom dropped out of that one, third base side. No play on the ball as Avery Finger goes over and picks it up, foul territory. Moss made his way down to first, but that's going to go foul. Still the 2-2 count. Yeah, Sambura out of the stretch. And he's going to deliver that to the outside corner of the plate. That's fouled off by Moss. Still a 2-2 count. Sambura working out of the stretch. You don't see that a lot. Nobody on. And that's going to be high for ball 3. 3-2 is your count. So the full count to Ryland Moss. Moss drew a walk his first time up. 3-2 delivery inside for ball 4. Moss on board again for Lisbon. As he draws his second walk of the game. So Lisbon with a runner on first. Moss eventually made his way on to first with that walk in the first inning. He's on board again. So that brings up Zach Ward, your cleanup hitter. That ball's going to drop in for ball 1. A 1-0 count to Zach Ward, steps out now back in the box. Moss with a little lead over there. Off the lefty, he's going to check him over at first. The throw not in time as Moss dives back. The big step and a dive back to first base there by Ryland Moss. Ward steps back in. Off the 1-0 count, the delivery by Sambura. That's outside, low for strike 1. As the plate umpire out there calls it. Strike 1, 1 ball, 1 strike. To Zach Ward, another check on the runner over at first by Sambura. Holding on, Ryland Moss doesn't want him to get over to second. And it's a lefty with the big advantage there, checking on first base. That's going to be a delivery. It's a high fly ball, shallow. Center fielder drifting back as our Dargo making a play off of the 20-mile-an-hour winds out of northwest, and hauling that one in was our Ryan Dargo, making a good play for the first out. So give the F6 on the first out. Yeah, as the runner will stay at first. Over there is Rylan Moss. So that brings up Matt Schwab, the DH. It's going to be a throw to first. Oh, and the tag put on, and he got him. As Moss kind of lazily going back. And he's called out off the tag. The good snap throw by Weston Clausen, the catcher. And that's going to get the second out. So Moss is out at first with 2 outs. Madden Schwab battling against Simbura. That's going to go in the dirt for, I think, for ball 3. Yeah, that's a big out for Enderlin. Off the snap throw by catcher Weston Clausen. Gets Moss at first, and that's outside for a strike. Outside part of the plate. So I think it's a 3-1 count on Schwab. That's going to go inside, working from outside to in for strike 2. I think the count loads it up. 3-2 is your count. Scoreboard not working there, and the ball's and strikes right now. Yeah, there's 2 strikes on Schwab. That's going to be the same inside out, and that's going to be caught looking. No, walks him. Looked about like the identical same pitch as that previous strike, but he's going to walk him. So Schwab is on. Lisbon missing an opportunity there with Moss being thrown out. As they got a runner on first now with 2 outs. It's going to bring up Jacob Ness. Ness, his first time up, he struck out in that second inning. As Ness is going to swing, hard chopper, hit down the left field line, and that's going to bring Schwab. Schwab's going into third. The play on third, not in time. Ness comes back around and reaches second on a nice hard hit. Chopper down the third base line. Finger not able to clean it up. As that's a double by Jacob Ness. And Schwab is going to come around to score. The opportunity for Lisbon getting away from him. But they do have a 2-out rally going now with runners at second and third. With 2 outs, Ness coming up with a double. Standing up on second base. That's Grayson Lyons. A wild pitch is going to bring her across Schwab. As Lisbon with their first run across. Up on the Bank North scoreboard, your new score update is Enderlin 5, Lisbon 1. Off the wild pitch. Brings in Madden Schwab. Grayson Lyons at the plate for Lisbon. Lyons taking that for ball 2, I think. Oh, 1 ball, 1 strike. So the 1-1 count there on Lyons. Lyons his first time up with a single. Yeah, that's going to be inside for ball 2. The 2-1 count on Grayson Lyons. Lisbon with the run across. 1 hit this inning. That was by Jacob Ness with the double. Ness standing over on third. So Ness is on third for Lisbon. Grayson Lyons at the plate. That's going to be swung on. This is hit here to right shallow center field, and drifting back is Gabe Gruba. And Gruba hauls it in. And that'll be the third out, or that is the third out for Lisbon off the well-hit ball by Grayson Lyons, hauled in by your center fielder, Carson Gruba. So Lisbon managing to put 1 run across, so they have 1 run off of 1 hit. And that run scoring off a wild pitch by Simbura. And Lisbon with 1 runner left on base. As that'll do it, bottom of the 3rd inning, Lisbon with a run across now. Their score up on the DHB scoreboard is now a score of 5-1 in favor of Enderlin. Enderlin due up top of the 4th inning. As that'll be your number 9 hitter. looks like your number 9 hitter, Tegan back to your number 9 hitter, Tegan Dargo.
For trusted news, weather, and sports from your community, look to R&J Broadcasting Incorporated, KRJB, KRJM, and KKCQ Radio, and rjbroadcasting.com. Hear local voices from local radio with news and information from the area. Your information stations, KRJB, KRJM, and KKCQ Radio, and rjbroadcasting.com. Local voices from local radio.
Hey, welcome back here as Lisbon with one run across. In the bottom of the third inning, here's a new score. Now 5-1 in favor of Enderlin. Tegan Dargo up. Going to take that swinging for strike one. 1 ball, 1 strike to Tegan Dargo. Dargo, his first time up, struck out in the second inning. That's going to the outside part of the plate for strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes to the number 9 hitter in left fielder, Tegan Dargo. Off the windup, the delivery gets away from the catcher. And that'll be ball 2, so your 2-2 count. You're at the top of the 4th inning to Tegan Dargo, the number 9 hitter. That's going to be swung on high, fastball for strike 3. Catches him up high. Striking out again there, Tegan Dargo, number 9 hitter. So out number 1 for Lisbon. And your pitcher, Cruz Ranke now with 8 strikeouts in the game. Brings the top of the order, Carson Gruba. Gruba struck out in the first inning, walked in the third, and that's strike 1 across for Cruz Ranke. 0-1 count now to Carson Gruba. Ranke working out of the windup. You saw Burra, nobody on, working out of the stretch that last inning. And that's going to drop in there for a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike. That's going to go high for ball 2. So 2-1 count now to Carson Gruba. Enderlin leads by a score of 5-1. 2 runs across in the first inning, 3 runs across in the third inning. Strike 2 on Gruba. So 2 balls, 2 strikes now to Carson Gruba. 1 out. Here, top of the 4th inning for Enderlin. That pitch low and away. Punches him out for strike 3 looking. As Ranke freezes Gruba for the second strikeout on the leadoff hitter. Caught him looking that time for the second out of the inning. So 2 away brings up Weston Clausen. Clausen, first time up with that bunt, the 1-3 put out in the first inning. Then had an error, reached down an error in the third inning. That's going to be in there swinging for strike 1. Here, bottom or top of the 4th inning, Weston Clausen, the 0-1 count. Delivery by Ranke. That's going to be a high pop fly down the third base line, diving and making the Agassi precision play of the game. Cam Cordero coming in. And he's going to retire Weston Clausen off a dynamic play, sliding in. And there by a Cam Cordero. Records the 3rd out. Getting Lisbon out of the inning with no runs across off of no hits, no errors. And a spectacular play by Cam Cordero for the Agassi Egg. Precision play of the game. It's going to be hard to beat that one there for Agassi Precision Egg. Play of the game, your local precision planning dealer, Agassi Precision Egg in Hillsboro. Call 701-436-2119 or visit plannerdoc.com. That's your Agassi Egg Precision play of the game. Yeah, that'll put down Enderlin 1-2-3 in the top of the 4th inning. So that'll bring Lisbon up bottom of the 4th. Lisbon looking to build on that momentum they found a little bit there in the second inning. Were able to get a run across in the third. So coming up for Lisbon will be your number 8, 9, and top of the order, Cruz Johnson, Griffin Mears, and Cruz Ranke coming up for Lisbon.
Sharing our heritage, sharing our future. Choosing the right bank for your financial needs can be challenging with the many choices available. Dakota Heritage Bank is pleased you're interested in knowing more about what they can do for you. The Dakota Heritage Bank community bank setting is a strong advantage they have over larger, less personal banks. Customers are more than account numbers, they are friends and neighbors. Working together, Dakota Heritage Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Hey, welcome back. YourLiveEvent.com as we're back here at San Diego Park, LFD Field in Lisbon. Yes, Enderlin leads Lisbon by a score of 5-1. I don't think that's how this one's going to end, as both teams showing that they can hit the ball. Lisbon just coming up with some tough luck there in that second inning, or excuse me, in the second inning, as Lisbon had 3 hits, just couldn't get anybody across. So that's going to bring up Lisbon 8-9, and then back to the top of the order here. Cruz Johnson up for Lisbon, as Johnson with a single his first time up. That first pitch is going to drop in there for a strike. And that's going to be pop-up. Catcher is going to haul it in there. Weston Clausen calling it. He wants to throw it around after making the play there in the first base side off that foul ball. As Johnson's going to go out for the first out, or goes down for the first out of the inning for Lisbon, bottom of the fourth. Number 9 hitter Griffin Mears, your right fielder, up to hit. Yeah, Saburo's going to deliver that, and Mears is going to hit this to the right fielder. Yeah, that ball just carried a little bit, looked like it might drop in, but that catch for out 2, or number 2, the second out, as Griffin Mears is going to fly out, F9. And that'll bring up top of the order here, Cruz Ranke. Ranke with the swing for strike 1. So nobody on, no hits for Lisbon. As nice hit ball there by Griffin Mears. Carried just a little bit there to right field and hauled it in. He is the right fielder, Gabe Hoy, for Enderlin. That's going to catch outside, and that's ball 2. So 2 balls, 1 strike, 2-1 count. Bottom of the fourth inning, Cruz Ranke. It's 2 out. Ranke's going to chop this one foul. I think it might have hit his dad over there. I think it would hit Austin over in the cheap seats by the restrooms over there, kind of where they normally sit. Had a bead right on it. I think he hauled it in. So Ranke now, the 2-2 count. Ranke stands in there, swing, gets him out, outside corner, swinging for strikeout. Second one of the game there by Cruz Ranke, as Ranke struck out in the first, hit a single in the second. Strikes out again here, bottom of the fourth inning. So Lisbon with 3 up, 3 down there, as Sambura takes down the top of the order there, and Cruz Ranke for that third out. And Lisbon will go down as we're coming back here to the top of the 5th inning. Due up for Enderlin is your number 3 hitter, Ethan Sambura, Ryan Dargo, and then Gabe Hoy, your 3, 4, 5 hitters, and Sambura, Dargo, and Hoy.
Keep your car moving along with the team at Elite Automotive Center in Fargo. What sets Elite Automotive Center apart from the herd is their truly extensive list of services. From brake and tire service to tune-ups and battery replacement, there's no job too big or small for their ASE certified technicians. Schedule your next oil change by going to EliteAutomotiveCenter.com or scan the QR code on your screen now. Never settle for standard service. Stop by Elite Automotive Center today in Fargo.
Hey, welcome back. YourLiveEvent.com, as Lisbon in that inning had no runs off of no hits, no errors by Enderlin, nobody left on base for Lisbon. Your score up on the DHB scoreboard, still 5-1 in favor of Enderlin, as the Eagles Put 2 across in the first inning, 3 across in the third. And then in the fourth inning, they went down 1-2-3, the same as Lisbon in that fourth inning, as that's going to bring us to the top of 5. Say Lisbon running out of time, but if it's any has any potential to go down by the last time they met up back on the 12th of April, that final score was 20-18. Things really started lighting up there in the middle innings. Yeah, Cruz Ranke's still on the mound for Lisbon. He has 8 strikeouts in the game for Lisbon off the mound. Brings up your number 3 hitter, Ethan Sambura. Sambura, a big swing and a miss for strike 1. Sambura, first time up with a single, came around to score for a run in the third inning, flew out. And this is going to be hit to the right field. Here, Griffin Mears hauls it in for Lisbon. Mears taking a few steps over, jaunting over to his left, hauling that in for the first out. There's Sambura. Flies out again. He flew out to the first baseman, or fouled out to the first baseman in the third inning, and now flies out to the right fielder. As Ranke facing Dargo. Dargo, a menace to Ranke in this game. The number 4 hitter, the cleanup hitter, had a double in the first inning, came around to score, and a single in the third inning, and scored again for 2 hits and 2 runs in the game for Ryan Dargo. Offensively, a menace there for Cruz Ranke and Lisbon. Yeah, that's going to be a 2-0 count. It's going to be popped up into the infield. Ranke's going to drift over, now called off by Rylan Moss. So Dargo not doing any damage this time up. Now 2 for 3 in the game, as he's going to record the second out, the F5, to the third baseman, Rylan Moss. Lisbon defensively, no changes in this inning, as you still have Mears, Lyons, and Ward in the outfield. Infield, you have Cruz Johnson, Jacob Ness at second, Cam Cordero at shortstop, and Rylan Moss over at third. Catching is Urban Elijah. On the mound is Cruz Ranke, and that's fouled back behind home plate. 0-2 count, or excuse me, the 1-1 count. That first one to Hoy, the number 5 hitter, was a ball, so it did get away from Elijah. I did see that. So the 1-1 count, 1-1 delivery there from Ranke is you have 2 outs. And that's swung on here to the second baseman. Jacob Ness cleans it up. In the Hoover, Jacob Ness vacuums that one up, cleans it up, and that's the 4-3 put out for the third out of the game, or third out of the inning. Yeah, as Enderlin sends up 3. No runs, no hits, and no Lisbon errors in that inning. And nobody left on base for Enderlin, as that'll bring us now to the bottom of the 5th inning. Due up for Lisbon. In the bottom of the 5th will be your number 2 hitters, 2, 3, and 4 hitters, Cordero, Moss, and Zach Ward, coming up for Lisbon.
Implement has been family owned and operated since 1935. Located in Oaks, North Dakota, they sell CarQuest automotive parts and numerous lines of agriculture parts. Plus, you'll have to stop by and check out their clothing and footwear department, featuring the brands of Brothers in Arms, Howitzer, Ariat, Cinch, and Twisted X Footwear. Emery Visto's Implement, everything and anything you need is under one roof. Stop in just south of Oaks on Highway 1 or call 701-742-2160.
Hey, welcome back here, LiveEvent.com. We'll take a look once again at that Bank North bracket breakdown there, your Region 1 baseball, boys baseball bracket. As looking ahead, the winner of this game will take on the number 1 seed Kindred. These games here in the Region 1 tournament will continue on Tuesday. Games played at 5 p.m. as the winner of this game will take on number 1 Kindred. That's at Kindred, as a higher seed will host that game. Then you have number 4 Sargent County versus number 5 Oak Grove. Number 2 Northern Cass versus number 7 Oaks. Number 3 Center Cass versus number 6 Hankinson Fairmont, Campbell Tinta, Rossholt, Lidgerwood. As that's your bracket breakdown here by Bank North. Your live event will have Region 1 baseball coverage starting Thursday over in Oaks. So they will cover that tournament Thursday and Friday. This ball hit, lined out was Cordero as Gruba comes over. The center fielder covering some ground and hauls that one in for the first out. So an F8, good play there by Carson Gruba for the first out as Cordero flies out to Gruba. I'm going to bring up the number 3 hitter, Rylan Moss. The 0-1 count. The lefty throws that one in there for ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike there. Sambura to Moss. Sambura out of the stretch. Going to throw that in there. Curveball for strike 2. 1-2 count on Rylan Moss. Moss with 2 walks in the game. Now working behind in the count here on the 1-2 count. From Sambura. Sambura out of the stretch. The delivery catches it high for ball 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Bottom of the 5th inning. Got to get that. And that's going to be a little chopper here. Center fielder comes up there, and Gruba finding some work out in center field. I kind of misjudged that one. Not really a line drive, just a shallow fly ball. And didn't carry as far as Gruba thought it was going to. For the second out. So a couple of flyouts to center fielder for Lisbon. 2 outs in the game. Ward's going to hit that one to third baseman. Finger fires over. That gets by the first baseman, Wyatt Lund. Clausen chasing it down the catcher. And that'll be an error on the throw for Matt Schwab. Or excuse me, Zach Ward. The left fielder. So Ward reaches on an error as Finger did a great job cleaning that one up off the hard hit by Ward. And Ward's going to get around to second, and that'll bring up Matt Schwab, the DH. So the DH is up, thought about swinging, going to call him strike 1 on Schwab. So Ward on second off the E5 on the throw. Lund tried to trap the throw, got underneath his glove. The 0-2 count here from Sambura to Matt Schwab, the DH. Number 5 hitter, and that's going to be outside. Save, a nice stab there by Weston Clausen. Keeps the runner at second. So 1 ball, 2 strikes. Now to Matt Schwab. Now it's going outside corner of the plate. Freezes him up. Caught looking again is Matt Schwab. Got him struck out in the first inning. Schwab drew a walk in the second. Now strikes out in the bottom of the 5th for the third out. As Lisbon, with no runs off of no hits, there was 1 Enderlin error, leaving 1 Lisbon runner on base. So that'll do it in the bottom of the 5th inning for Lisbon. As Enderlin due up, top of the 6th for Enderlin is your 6, 7, and 8 hitter. Monty Loftman, Avery Finger, and Wyatt Lund due up for Enderlin.
At Enbridge, we're focused on relationships. 23 Canadian First Nation and Métis communities now own an equity stake in Enbridge Athabasca Pipelines. In Minnesota, Enbridge has spent $450 million and counting with Native-owned companies and in wages to tribal members working on Line 3. Every day brings new collaborations, partnerships, and possibilities. Learn more at Enbridge.com.
In times like these, it's good to know there's a place.
Hey, welcome back here, liveevent.com. As no defensive changes for Lisbon. Ranke still in the game on the mound for Lisbon. Ranke and Lisbon giving up 5 runs in the game. Ranky with 8 strikeouts on Enderlin batters. He has due up for Enderlin. He is your number 6 hitter, Monty Loffman here. As we are at top of the 6th inning, Loffman steps in. So Monty in the game with 2 strikeouts. And this is going to be a little slow roller. The pitcher, Cruz Ranky, shovels over to the first baseman, Cruz Johnson, and that'll be the first out there. Loffman gets a piece of it. The good pitcher fielding practice, the BFP over there on the play by Ranky, gets it over to first base for the out. So 1 down. That'll bring up Avery Finger, and that ball gets away, bounces to the backstop for the 1-0 count to Avery Finger. Finger, last time up with a single, struck out in the 2nd inning, so he has a strikeout and a single in the game. An RBI single there for Avery Finger. Now the 2-0 count to Finger, outside corner of the plate, drops in for a strike. Two-one count. Finger. Finger's going to get a hold of this one. Hits it to the second baseman, Jacob Ness. Cleans it up over to first for the 4-3 putout. Lisbon's going to throw it around. Ness doing a good job holding it down there at second base this game. So 2 up, 2 down for Enderlin. That'll bring up your number 8 hitter, Wyatt Lund. Lund's going to get a hold of this, fouls it off for strike 1. Fouled off behind home plate. Lund in the game with 2 strikeouts in the 2nd and 3rd inning. That ball low and away and gets it in there for a strike across the knees for the 0-2 count on Wyatt Lund. Ranky working out of the windup. Delivery on the 0-2 count, drops it in there, freezes it up for strike 3. And another strikeout for Cruz Ranky, 9 in the game for Ranky. Yes, that'll be a 1-2-3 inning. So 3 up, 3 down, no runs, no hits, no Lisbon errors, nobody left on base for Enderlin. As your score up on the DHB scoreboard, still Enderlin 5, Lisbon 1. Coming to the bottom of the 6th inning for Lisbon. Lisbon will have your 6, 7, and 8 hitters there with Jacob Ness, Grayson Lyons, and Cruz Johnson due up for Lisbon, bottom of the 6th inning.
Who you are, no matter how long you've been gone. A place where the smells of home cooking are still in the air, where a simple wave warms your heart, and sharing stories is just a way of life. It's good to be home. Farmers Union Insurance, protecting what's important in life.
Get in touch with David Bergerman today at 701-724-6252.
Hey, welcome back here at LiveEvent.com as we're back here at Sandager Park, LFD Field in Lisbon, North Dakota. Enderlin leads by a score of 5-1, due up for Lisbon. Your 6, 7, and 8 hitters, Jacob Ness, Grayson Lyons, and Cruz Johnson. Ness with a double his last time up in that 3rd inning and then struck out in the 2nd. There's Sambura, drops that first pitch in there for a strike, working ahead of the batter. Now with the 0-1 count. That's going to drop in there for strike 2. 0-2 count. Sambura to Ness. Sambura continues to work out of the stretch, nobody on. He's going to put that down low and away, gets away from the catcher Weston Clausen for the ball 1. 1 ball, 2 strikes. To Jacob Ness of Lisbon. Ness playing a good second base so far for Lisbon, the number 6 hitter in the batting order, 1 for 2 today. A double in the 3rd inning, an RBI double. Now it's going to drop in there for ball 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, a little bit high. The 2-2 count to Jake, or excuse me, a full count, 3-2 count here to Jacob Ness. There's the pitch inside. Ness is going to get on board. So Ness aboard with the walk. That'll move him over to first. A leadoff runner aboard for Lisbon. Bottom of the 6th inning. There's Sambura going against Grayson Lyons. Lyons with a single in the 2nd inning. He's going to hit this one. Oh, a nice stab there by Dargo. Dargo trying to make a play on Ness over at first. Another highlight play. Another as a Dargo makes the stab off the line drive. A shot hit by Grayson Lyons. And Lyons robbed of a base hit by Ryan Dargo. On the F6. That ball popped up. First base side running in. Oh, and almost a collision out there between Hoy and Monty Loftman, the second baseman. Right field, or the outfielder coming in. Loftman makes the play. Hoy tried to call him off. Loftman didn't hear him. Loftman does haul it in. Could have been a bad collision out there. So that's 2 outs. Runner still on first. This ball hit down the right field line. Hoy moving over, coming around in second. Over to third is Ness on the single by Griffin Mayers. Excuse me, by Cruz Johnson. Johnson with 2 hits in the game. So that'll get Ness over to third off the walk. A single by Johnson. Bring up Griffin Mayers. Mayers, a couple flyouts to the second base side in the 2nd inning, and then to the right field in the 4th inning. So 2 outs, 2 runners on. Runners at the corner for Lisbon, as that ball is going to drift inside for ball 1 on Mayers. So 1-0 count, runners at the corner. And Johnson with 2 hits in the game, 3 for 2 in the game. A single in the 2nd, flew out, or a pop out to the catcher. And this ball sharply hit. That's going to bring a run around. There's Ness. And Mayers is going to round second as this goes into left center. And 1 run does come across off the RBI single by Griffin Mayers. So runners back at the corner. Still 2 out. 2 out rally going now, as that's going to bring up top of the order. Griffin Mayers coming in. And looks like we have, I think, Briar Differding out there on second, bringing in a little more speed on second. As Cruz Ranke, Ranke struck out in the 1st and the 4th inning, had a single in the 2nd. Ranke looking to help himself out. That ball low and away, ball 1. 1-0 count to Cruz Ranke. As Lisbon, not runners at the corners, runners at 1st and 2nd now. The 2-0 count to Cruz Ranke. Lisbon with a run across. Couple of hits in this inning, and that's going to be off the handle. Trying to, through the legs of Dargo after Dargo made a great play. And waving him in, the throw to home. And then sliding in safely is Differding, and Lisbon with another run across. Now 5-3 is your score. As Dargo tried to make a play on it. Just kind of a bad hop. Went between his legs as he made a great play off the line drive earlier. And we're going to have a visit to the mound by head coach Kevin Bratland of the Enderlin Eagles. So we're going to go and step away. We'll come back for more on YourLiveEvent.com.
Homegrown local radio is now worldwide with 24-hour streaming. Download the RJ Radio app to hear local voices from local radio with KRJB, KRJM, and KKCQ 24 hours a day from anywhere. You can listen to your favorite programs like the RJ Family Morning Show, local news, farm markets, music, high school sports, church services, more from anywhere. KRJB, KRJM, and 96.7 KKCQ is streaming on the RJ Radio app. Download it to your device and take us with you wherever you.
Hey, welcome back there. Cordero steps in for Lisbon. Lisbon with runners on first and second. As Ranke reaches on an error by the shortstop. That'll put runners on first and second. A run does come across there as Coach Brad Bintner waves in the pinch runner, Briar Differding, and that ball outside. Ball 2-0 count to Cam Cordero. Cordero's one of the men you want up at the plate for Lisbon, the senior, with a double in the first inning, as he has runners in scoring position there on second base. And throw over, and not in time, but a good pickoff move over there by Sambura, just off on the home plate side of the bag. A little bit deep on the catch there by Wyatt Lund. Could have got the base runner. Runners are going to go. That's in the dirt. That gets by him. Runner's going to pick up from third. And coming across to score. As Lisbon with another run across. You're scoring now 5-4. The tying run is at third with Cordero up. As Ranke's going to make his way over to third base. Or excuse me, that's Cordero. That was Ranke that came across. That's going to walk Rylan Moss. That was a batter behind here. So Moss is aboard. Runners at the corner. So the top of the order for Lisbon doing some damage. That'll bring up your cleanup hitter, Zach Ward. Your official score, 5-4. Another visit to the mound. Likely a pitching change coming up for Enderlin. Yeah, as I would expect to more than likely see Orion Adargo get the call here for Enderlin. Yeah, it looks like Sambura's coming out. No, looks like Garuba's. And some defensive changes coming up. Garuba's going to come in from center field. Sambura's coming out. So Garuba going in. Looks like he'll pitch. And Sambura's coming out here to center for Enderlin defensively. Yes, man, that was a batter behind there, as that was Moss drawing the walk. So runners at the corner for Lisbon. 2-out rally going for Lisbon. As they're going to put runs across in this inning. Now they'll score 5-4 up on the DHB scoreboard. With 2 outs due up for Lisbon is the number 4 hitter, Zach Ward. Defensive changes coming up for Enderlin.
Great Plains Fireworks and Sports Collectibles, Hillsboro. Fireworks and sports stuff in the same store? That's right. Great Plains Fireworks and Sports Collectibles, Hillsboro. Come in and browse the sports cards and memorabilia and fireworks at the same time. Unopened packs and boxes of sports cards, plus pre-owned cards as well. Jersey, swatch, autograph cards, lots of Twins, Vikings, Wolves, Wild, Lynx, and North Stars memorabilia, bobbleheads, caps, and more. Call anytime, 701-436-6140. Great Plains Fireworks and Sports Collectibles, Hillsboro.
It's safe to say we have it pretty good in the Drayton, North Dakota area. Growing sugar beets, making sugar, bringing a little sweetness to the world. Every day, American Crystal Sugar produces sweet products people love in a place we love to call home. It's a thing we like to call the sweet life, and we're proud to share it with you. American Crystal Sugar's Drayton facility wants you to enjoy the events in the communities of our area. Here's to living the sweet life. American Crystal Sugar, Drayton.
Imagine your life in Hillsboro, a place where neighbors know your name and opportunities are real. Here, you'll find affordable home lots and grants to help you build your future. In Hillsboro, safety, affordability, and community aren't just promises, they're our way of life. With a 24-hour fitness center, a strong school system, a trusted hospital, and a thriving business district, Hillsboro has everything you need to live well. Here, your family is our family, and your future shines bright. Discover Hillsboro, where small-town living means big opportunities.
right, welcome back here at event.com. As just trying to get some of these defensive changes. That is our Dargle going into pitch. So Dargle is your pitcher. So Sombura comes out of the game as Lisbon has the 2-out rally going. Zach brings up Zach Ward. Dargle in to pitch. So the righty on the mound now for Enderlin. The look over at first goes from like a first to third, or third to first move, which is legal in high school baseball. Not in Babe Ruth or Legion, I don't believe. I know it's not legal in Babe Ruth. And that ball is going to catch the outside corner for strike one. The 0-1 count on Zach Ward. As a Dargle takes a look over at first. And the runner's going to go. Now play as ball gets away. The runner's going to go. This is a tying run from third. Cordero scores, and Lisbon ties it up. As perfectly executed, confuses the pitchers. A Dargle, and Lisbon ties it up at 5 as Cordero comes across. Our score, we're tied up in the 6th inning. Lisbon's put 4 runs across this inning. That'll put Moss over at second. Ward working against a Dargle. The 0-2 count gets him swinging, but the damage is done. Lisbon ties it up. As we're tied up now at 5 apiece in that inning for Lisbon. As Lisbon with 4 runs across off of 3 hits and 1 error with 1 runner left on base. As we're tied up now at 5 apiece going into the top of the 7th inning in the game, as Enderlin due up top of the 7th inning for the Enderlin Eagles, as they have Tegan Dargle, number 9 hitter, followed by the top of the order, Carson Gruba and Weston Clausen. So a Dargle, Gruba, and Clausen coming up for Enderlin, top of the 7th inning.
Hunter Insurance Agency is a locally owned full-service agency providing protection and coverage in a number of different areas. Hunter Insurance Agency offers multi-peril crop insurance, crop hail insurance, and farm insurance for buildings and equipment. Plus, they offer home, auto, life, and business insurance. For more information, go online to hunterinsuranceagency.com or stop in and speak with Johnny Jorgensen at Hunter Insurance Agency. Find them at 201 Main Street, Hunter.
The Kindred Public School District looks to collaboratively cultivate an environment that challenges learners to reach their full potential in a student-centered, community-supported environment while building authentic relationships that promotes active engagement in learning, literacy, and life. Kindred Public Schools' mission is to educate, prepare, and maximize student potential. Kindred Public School District, student-centered, community-supported. For more info about upcoming school events and news, go online to kindred.k12.us.
Welcome back here, liveevent.com, as Lisbon ties it up, top of the 7th inning. As up is Tegan Dargle. Dargle with 2 strikeouts. Struck out in the 2nd and the 4th inning. Then we're back to the top of the order with Gruba and Clausen. As the count 1 ball, 1 strike to Tegan Dargle. Drops in outside corner for ball 2. 2 balls and 1 strike to a Dargle. Cruz Ranke still in pitching for Lisbon. Ranke right now, he has 107 pitches, I think is what it is. 107 for Cruz Ranke. A little harder to keep track of the game out here in center field. The center field press box can't see the scoreboard. Then you got to kind of pick up or try to pick up on the players. And the numbers out there a little bit harder to do out here in center field press box, but that is our Dargle with the full count. 3-2 is your count to a Dargle. Swing and a miss for a strikeout, as a Dargle strikes out again for his 3rd strikeout of the game. for the number 9 hitter is Ranky racking up the strikeouts. Nine strikeouts in the game for Cruz Ranky, working off the mound, the righty for Lisbon. For the first out, gets a Dargo. That's going to bring up Carson Gruba. Gruba in the game. Struck out in the first, walk in the second, walk in the third, and struck out again in the fourth for the leadoff hitter. I would say he's probably due for something in this game. As Carson Gruba with the ball 1-1-0 count. That's going to go over his head. Sails away from Ranky, the 2-0 count to the leadoff hitter. Gruba gets aboard. He's got some speed and a lot of baseball IQ out there for Carson Gruba if he's able to get on the bases. And that's going to drop in there for ball 3. The 3-0 count to Carson Gruba. Back to the top of the order. That's going to be a swing and a miss for strike 1. 3-1's your count. That was off the 3-0. The 3-0 count. Gruba swinging, a big swing. As he must have liked what he saw there. Must have had the sign. And that's going to go inside for strike 2. Loads up the count now. 3-2 with 1 out. Top of the 7th inning. Here to Carson Gruba, back to the top of the order. Cruz Ranky on the mound for Lisbon. Ranky looks like now 115 pitches. Trying to keep track. This is going to be a shot, well hit. It's going back into the left, deep left field, off the fence. Almost hopped it over. And going into second, standing up with the stand-up double is Carson Gruba. As Gruba was due for a hit there, leading things off for Enderlin. As the go-ahead run now on second with 1 out. And that'll bring up a visit to the mound and a pitching change. Off the shot, that was the wall up by Carson Gruba. Deep to left field. Nothing the left fielder couldn't make a play on. It almost topped the fence. As just bounced off the top of the fence there, back into play. Zach Ward made the play on it, got it back in, but a stand-up double for the leadoff hitter there, Carson Gruba. So 1 down runner on second for Enderlin, as we do have a pitching change coming up for Lisbon. Looks like Cam Cordero coming in the game for Lisbon.
Milner Grain understands that agriculture is your livelihood, and we're committed to providing you with the highest quality of services to meet your farming needs. Milner Grain has a passion for our community and the farmers we serve. Milner Grain is locally owned and operated. When you're looking for a partner in the field, look to Milner Grain. Call 701-427-5284 or check out Milner Grain's app with current up-to-date prices. Milner Grain is here to help you and your farm grow.
Welcome to the 130th Annual Norman County Fair, June 24th through 27th, Ada, Minnesota. FFA Day. New this year, Jindo Bingo, the Big Air ATV show in the R&J Broadcasting Grandstand. Plus free music, basketball challenge, Check 6 Veterans Day, Youth Day, Senior Day, racing, the Mooncats, lumberjack shows, and so much more. For the full schedule, visit NormanCountyFair.com. Norman County Fair, Ada, Minnesota, June 24th through 27th. It's where summer begins and the fun never ends.
The World of Outlaws late models are coming to Norman County Raceway on June 30th, 2026. Infield seating, your chance to meet your favorite National Touring Series drivers, and much, much more. Tickets are available now at ncraceway.com. Order yours today.
And we'll see you June 30th, 2026.
All right, welcome back here, liveevent.com. As we're back here, Lisbon tied it up in the bottom of the 6th inning. 4 runs across in the 6th for Lisbon. Leading things off here in the top of the 7th for Enderlin, as Tegan Dargo struck out for the first out of the inning. Carson Gruba with a shot to left field for the double, stand-up double. That'll bring in a pitching change for Lisbon, as Cam Cordero coming up for Lisbon. On the mound for Lisbon, as Ranky We'll go 6 1/3 innings, giving up 5 hits. 4 earned runs. On Ranky. Ranky with 9 strikeouts in the game. It looks like unofficially 3 walks, so 9 strikeouts and 3 walks given up by Cruz Ranky. Yeah, so that'll bring up your number 2 hitter, Weston Clausen. Clausen reaching base in the 3rd inning off an error by the 3rd baseman from Lisbon. So runner on second's Gruba. That's going to be a high pop-up. That's going to be high in home plate for a foul ball. So a foul ball fouled off that first pitch by Weston Clausen. Gruba. And that's popped up behind home plate. And making the play on there is Cruz Ranky. Ranky coming in at catcher. Defensively, Ranky goes from pitcher to catcher. Cordero to pitcher. Ness goes to shortstop. And looks like Irvin Elijah at second. Cordero takes a look at the runner at second. That ball drops in for a strike. I want to say that was the knuckle curve there by Cam Cordero. As that would have been a tough pitch to hit. That ball drops in for strike 2. 0-2 count on Ethan Sambura. Sambura with a base hit in the first inning. Flew out to first base, or fouled out to first base in the 3rd, and then flew out to right field in the 5th. Runner's going for strike. Oh. Fouled off. So that pitch is fouled off by Sambura. Still an 0-2 count. So it is the 0-2 count there by Ethan Sambura. This ball fouled up behind home plate and out. And that ball low for ball 1, 1-2 count. The runner over to 3rd. So 2 outs. Sambura still at the plate. The 1-2 count to Ethan Sambura. Sambura's going to hit a shot to left field. Foul. Yeah, that ball gets out of play quickly there by Ethan Sambura. So the go-ahead run's at 3rd base now. The 1-2 count, lowing away. Ranky making a nice play. Yeah, 2 balls, 2 strikes. That ball gets in the dirt, blocked by Ranky. Go-ahead run's going to come across. Is Gruba. So Carson Gruba comes across for the run off the wild pitch. Enderlin takes the lead, 6-5. That ball hit, deep shot to left field over the head of Zach Ward, the left fielder. Sambura is going to chug around, make his way to second. And we're going to have another double, stand-up double by Ethan Sambura. Sambura 2 of 4 today in the game with a double. So 2 outs, 1 run across. That gives Enderlin the lead. That ball in the dirt. Good stop by the catcher, Cruz Ranky. Ryan Adargo at the plate. Adargo 2 for 3 in the game. A thorn in the side of Lisbon in that first and third inning, as that's going to drop in there for ball 2. 2-0 count to Ryan Adargo. Cordero's going to take a look at it. Sambura at second. Took a long look at him. That's going to drop in there for a strike. 2 balls, 1 strike to Adargo. Swinging and strike 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Adargo. As the 2-2 pitch, that chopper gets through. Runner's going to be waved home. The throw by our Lions, and that's almost cut off. I don't know what happened on the throw there. As another run across there, Sambura's going to come across. I don't know if Ness knocked that down or what happened off the throw by Lions. But that's another run across for Enderlin. Off the single by Adargo. So that's going to advance the runner there off the wild pitch. Gets away from the catcher, Cruz Ranky. As Adargo advances to second. So Adargo on second. Drops in there for a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike to Gabe Hoy. Hoy, the number 5 hitter. 2 walks in the game. Then grounded out to the second baseman his 3rd time up. Drops in, ball. Low for a ball. 2 balls and 1 strike. So 2 balls, 1 strike. Cordero takes a look at second. High fastball holding off is Gabe Hoy. So 3-1 count. Here to Gabe Hoy at the plate for Enderlin. The 3-1 count. Cordero on the mound. 3-1 pitch. Drops in inside part of the plate. Strike 2. 3-2 loads him up. 2-0 full count on Gabe Hoy. 2 runs across this inning for Enderlin. Now lead by a score of 7-5. Here top of the 7th inning. And runner's going to go the swing, and that's going to be out number 3, striking out, recording his first strikeout of the game, is Cam Cordero. So Cordero going 2/3 of an inning, as he's going to give up a couple hits and then gets a strikeout. So he gives up 2 hits, gave up a double and a single, and now records the 3rd out as a strikeout. Enderlin doing some damage, puts 2 runs across. So Enderlin with 2 runs off of 3 hits and no Lisbon errors, with 1 runner left on base that inning. As that'll bring us now to the bottom of the 7th inning, as Lisbon due up. Bottom of the 7th inning for Lisbon, as they have their designated hitter, Matt Schwab, followed by Jacob Ness and Grayson Lyons. So your 5, 6, 7 hitters in Schwab, Ness, and Lyons due up for Lisbon.
R&J Broadcasting Incorporated is accepting applications for a broadcast sales representative. Applicant should be self-motivated, organized, have ability to communicate clearly, and the desire to help our customer partners grow their business with customer service for their advertising and marketing needs. All experience levels are encouraged to apply. To apply, email your resume to apply@rjbroadcasting.com. R&J Broadcasting Incorporated is an equal opportunity employer.
Take your softball or baseball skills to the next level with personalized instruction from the professional staff at the Ball Yard. Their mission is to provide area players, young and old, the opportunity to improve their skills in a professional level facility and to provide a high.
All right, welcome back. YourLiveEvent.com as due up for Lisbon. On the bottom of the 7th inning. There's Matt Schwab, the DH. That ball hit down the first base line, and that was a pinch hitter in there for Schwab. So the ball hit down the first base line. Jacob Ness now in to hit, so that first out of the inning for Lisbon off the pinch hitter. Jacob Ness in to hit for Lisbon. As Ness struck out in the 2nd inning, hit a double in the 3rd, and then walked in the 6th, scoring a run. Going against a Dargo. Dargo that puts this one outside for a ball. He has the 3-0 count now to Jacob Ness. One out here, bottom of the 7th inning for Lisbon. Drops it in there for a strike. 3-1's your count. Drops in for strike 2. 3-2 count on Jacob Ness. Dargo coming in relief of Simbura in that 6th inning. And that's going to draw a walk. So Ness is aboard once again. That got the rally started for Lisbon. In that 6th inning. So Ness is aboard for Lisbon. One runner on, one out. Brings up Grayson Lyons. Lyons had a couple nice shots to center field, and then with a single back in the 2nd inning. And Dargo throws it over, safe. Off the pickoff attempt on Jacob Ness. Caught Ness a little bit flat-footed over there. Almost had him out. That was a close play over at first there. Dargo on the pickoff move. Lyons going to hit this one foul back behind home plate. Here on Grayson Lyons. 1 ball, 1 strike. Lisbon with the runner on first is Jacob Ness. Pitch and gets him swinging for strike 2 on Grayson Lyons. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Dargo on the mound for Enderlin. Dargo taking a long look over there at Jacob Ness. The pitch and swung on off the handle. This is going to drop in fair, and we got a runner heading to 3rd. No, it's going to hold it up on Ness. So Ness makes his way to 2nd. As Dargo fought off as Lyons fought off the pitch, able to put a single down the left field line, drops in fair for a single, advances the runners. Runners on 1st and 2nd for Lisbon, so the tying run's aboard for Lisbon. As that'll bring in Cruz Johnson. Johnson's going to hit a pop-up, infield fly rule in effect. Gruba makes the grab for the F6. On Johnson. And that'll bring up the final out here for Lisbon as Griffin Mears comes up. Lisbon down to 1 out. As they have runners on 1st and 2nd, Mears takes a swing and a miss for strike 1. Mears with a hit in that 6th inning, driving in a run. Takes a swing outside for strike 2. 0-2 count on Griffin Mears. Lisbon here, 2 outs, runners on 1st and 2nd. Dargo looking to close things out for Enderlin and send him into the Region 1 tournament inside for ball 1. 1 ball. Or 2 balls, one ball, 2 strikes there to Mears. Swinging late, struck him out. And Enderlin into the Region 1 tournament after this playing game as they down Lisbon by a score of 7-5. Your final score, Enderlin over Lisbon, 7-5 on YourLiveEvent.com. We'll come back for more in just a moment.
To youth players to help them achieve their goals at the Ball Yard. Come and visit the one place in the Fargo-Moorhead area where it's always summer. For more information, go online to fmballyard.com. That's fmballyard.com.
What was that? Is that top insurance?
No, I'm pretty sure it's Toop insurance.
Maybe toupee.
Could be Toupee. Yeah, I don't know.
Or taupe insurance,
maybe? Nah, I don't think so.
Say it right. That's T-O-O-P. That's taupe.
Oh, it's taupe.
That's Taupe Insurance in Castleton. Get in touch with Ryan today for a quote or review of your policies.
Hey, welcome back. YourLiveEvent.com is official game time. 1 hour and 55 minutes. That first pitch of the game, sponsored by Norman County Raceway. That first pitch is at 5:01 p.m. Finish up here at 6:56. Your official end time to the game. 1 hour 55 minutes as Enderlin downs Lisbon by a score of 7-5. That bottom half of the 7th inning for Lisbon. Lisbon, no runs off of 1 hit, no Enderlin errors, and 2 runners were left on base as Enderlin into the Region 1 tournament. And just looking at that Bank North bracket update, as it will be number 1 Kindred taking on Enderlin in the first round of the Region 1 tournament, 5 p.m. on the 12th of May. That game played at the higher seed, so that game played at Kindred. Number 4 Sargent County versus number 5 Oak Grove. Number 2 Northern Cass versus number 7 Oaks. Number 3 Central Cass will take on the number 6 seed Hankerson, Fairmont, Campbell, Tinta, Rossolt, Lidgerwood. So those there are your Bank North bracket updates as that Region 1 field now officially set with the win by Enderlin over Lisbon by a score of 7-5. That's your final this evening. As Lisbon in the game, out hitting Enderlin 8-7 in the game, and Enderlin now with the win 7-5 over Lisbon as Enderlin took the early lead there with this DHB game recap. Enderlin took the lead early there at the top of the first inning as they'd put 2 runs across. Sambura and Ardargo coming across the plate for Enderlin for 2 runs in that first inning. They'd score again 3 more runs in the third inning for Enderlin as Enderlin would build that lead by a score of 5-0. Lisbon coming back in the third inning with 1 run across the plate. So your score after 3 was Enderlin 5, Lisbon 1. Lisbon then in that 6th inning would plate 4 runs across off of 3 hits in that inning for Lisbon. There was one error by Enderlin and then 4 runs by Lisbon. And that was tied up at 5 apiece. Then Enderlin would go ahead and they'd take the lead in the 7th with 2 more runs as the go-ahead run, Carson Gruba coming across there in the top of the 7th inning, followed by Ethan Sambura. As Enderlin will go ahead or go on to win this one by a score of 7-5. So we're going to go ahead and step away. We'll come back for more on YourLiveEvent.com. What's going on there, Ryan? Man, good game. Let me get you a microphone. There you go. And I'm going to put you on camera, so. There you go. I'll zoom out a little bit so you're not. All right.
Stop on out to Watson's Hardware in Castleton and gear up with name brands from Steel, Milwaukee, Ego, and Craftsman Power Tools. Get ahead of your spring planting needs with flowers,
shrubs, and trees. Watts Ace Hardware Greenhouse is open now. Watts Ace Hardware, a place you need to check out. Stop in at 1610 Governor's Drive in Castleton for Watts Ace Hardware and check out their greenhouse, which is open right now.
From on-site farm repairs to maintaining the condition of your vehicle, trust the staff at Welton's Tire Service. They've served the Lisbon area since 1972, guaranteeing customer satisfaction and workmanship from farm equipment, tire services, and preventative vehicle maintenance. You'll find it all from affordable prices, free estimates, to their knowledgeable technicians answering any question. Welton's Tire Service is locally owned and located on Main Street in Lisbon. For information, go online to weltonstire.net or call 701-683-5136.
All right, hey, welcome back here at liveevent.com. We're back here for Enbridge Energy Player of the Game. Enbridge Energy Player of the Game going out to Ryan Dargle of Enderlin. As a Dargle in this game, coming up big for Enderlin. A menace to Lisbon in the first and third innings as he hit a double in the first inning and a single in the third with 2 runs across in that first and the third inning for a couple big rallies as Enderlin ended up taking a 5-0 lead at that point in the game. So just kind of bring us in, you know, kind of the thoughts of Enderlin, or I should say the thoughts of your team as you're coming into this game against Lisbon. You guys had a slobber knocker over there earlier in the season, 2018, so maybe a little bit of retribution or retaliation here in Lisbon as you guys now make your way into the Region 1 tournament.
Yeah, we played them earlier this year, and we think we should have won that one. So we came back this one. We wanted to be aggressive. We wanted to win, and we said we're going to swing the bat and try to get as many runs in as possible and play good defense.
Yeah, and just talking about that swing of the bat, you guys did open it up right away in that first inning. You guys put 2 runs across. You had a couple of hits in that first inning, a big third inning, as you guys put 3 more runs across in that third inning. And then you came in at the end of the game and you closed it out for Enderlin. That was kind of my first thought when I saw Sembura going out. I thought maybe that, they'd send in Ryan Dargo in there to clean things up. And then I saw Gruba going. I thought, well, maybe they're going to put in Carson. But you ended up closing it out for Lisbon. So, what does that say? Like the confidence that your coach has in you to close the game out, a big game here, getting into the Region 1 tournament, and also that your teammates put in you as a senior this year to get them into that Region 1 tournament.
Well, first, thanks to Ethan. He put us in a great spot to win, and our coach has so much trust in so many guys. Like, could have been me, it could have been Carson, could have been any of our other guys, and he just trusted me, sent me up on the bump, and got it done. Yeah, and
Enderlin's kind of one of those known for being a baseball town, so getting back into the Region 1 playoffs, I'm sure that's a big deal, not only for your team, but also for the city of Enderlin.
Yes, sir, it is.
All right, Ryan, just congratulations on a big game today and a big win there for the Enderlin Eagles.
Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's your Enbridge Energy Player of the Game there. As we're going to go ahead and step away, we'll come back for more on your liveevent.com.
Stay up to date all year long.
All right, welcome back here at liveevent.com, as that was our Enbridge Energy Player of the Game there. Ryan Dargle picking up the Enbridge Energy Player of the Game as things are wrapping up here in Lisbon. As we'll close things out with the Enbridge Energy Player of the Game. Life takes energy from Enbridge, energy for life at enbridge.com for those career opportunities. And Enderlin downing Lisbon by a score of 7-5 in this playing game there for Region 1. Taking you back out to the field, Enderlin, the visiting team on the scoreboard, coming up with a big win here at LFD Field as they come up there into the Region 1 Region 1 tournament now. So they'll take on number 1 seed, the Kindred Vikings. As we continue on with some of our feature sponsors, as we do have the HTC, that Halstead Telephone Company connection of the game. So get that HTC connection of the game up for you, as that's also going to go over there to the get that off the screen. All right, as your Halstead Telephone HTC connection of the game, that's going to go out to Ryan Dargle and Ethan Sembura in that lineup. The number 3, number 4 hitters coming up big in the lineup for Enderlin Sambura and Dargo both coming across in that first inning. Sambura with the base hit, Dargo with the double. That brought in Sambura. And that put Enderlin up by a score of 2-0. And then if you go back into that seventh inning, once again, that HTC connection to the game there with Sambura and Dargo, as Sambura with a huge shot to left field for a double. Dargo followed that up with a single, as that brought in Ethan Sambura. Sambura was the assurance run there for Enderlin, as Enderlin would go ahead and win that by a score of 7-5. So that's your HTC connection of the game. Ethan Sambura and Ryan Dargo, number 3-4 hitters in that lineup for Enderlin. As we'll just go over once again that Dakota Heritage Bank scoring summary in the game, as Enderlin would come up in the first inning scoring 2 runs, and they'd lead by a score of 2-0. They'd play at 3 more runs in the top of the third. They had the 5-0 lead. Lisbon had put 1 run across in the third inning, bottom of the third inning. They're down 5-1. Then they come back and tie it up in the 6th inning with 4 runs across off of 3 hits for a tie ball game at 5 apiece. Enderlin would close this one out with the win, as they would come up with 2 runs in the top of the 7th inning. And Carson Gruba would score the go-ahead run off a wild pitch after he doubled to a center field. And then the insurance run coming in there with Ethan Sambura. Sambura with a double in that inning also, and he'd be the insurance run there for Enderlin, as Enderlin would win by a score of 7-5. And they'll go ahead and face Kindred, the number 1 team in Region 1. That's on Tuesday at 5 p.m. That game played at Kindred. Yeah, so that'll wrap things up for the Region 1 playing the game. The final score this evening was Enderlin 7 and Lisbon 5, as your live event will have continuing coverage of the Region 1 tournament, as that'll continue on after Tuesday's games over in Oaks on May 14th and then May 15th. So you'll have that all on your live event for continuing Region 1 baseball coverage of the Region 1 tournament over in Oaks Thursday and Friday, the 14th and 15th of May. And then we'll also have Region 1 and Region 2, Region 1 softball, Region 2 baseball, and the Region 2 softball tournament, plus the Northeast and Southeast track and field meets. Those are also coming up on yourliveevent.com. So continuing sports coverage as the high school seasons come to a close the end of May, and your live event will have coverage there of not only baseball, softball, but also track and field here as those Northeast and Southeast region meets coming up, and state qualifiers coming up there for track and field. As that'll do it here from San Diego Park here on LFD Field. Enderlin 7, Lisbon 5.